Shalom, shalom to all my brothers and sisters from the 12 tribes of Israel, the mighty tribe of Israel, the army of the Lord. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, seed, scattered across the four corners of the earth. I'm here to tell y'all I love y'all, man. I'm here with y'all and I pray for y'all every day, all my brothers and sisters. That's in the truth, and all my brothers on the front line. Out there bringing people to the awakening of our heritage. I just want to say shalom to y'all, and I'm out here, and I really do pray for y'all. And all my other brothers who bring forth that word and bring forth their faith with works. That's not using a camcorder. You know what I mean? So we have a lot of brothers out there who doing the work, not using the camcorder too. So you just can't exclude these brothers. So much love to y'all and to your family. Right now, I'm gonna get into a lesson right now. That's the revealing of Samson. Okay. Excuse me. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start off with this precept first, though. I'm gonna go with this precept, Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. So you can't forget the days of old, and you can't forget the years of many generations. That's why the Most High tell you, remember the days of old and consider the years of many generations. As of now, most people don't even consider the years of generations. They act like, they're worrying about a football game. They're worrying about, things that's occupying their mind right now. This is what they worried about, So what we have to do is behold to many generations, and let that be known on that. Okay, so right now I'm gonna get into the reading of Samson. Okay, all right. So Samson name, I'm reading out of a book called Who's Who in the Bible. Okay, so Samson is a Hebrew. Okay, all right, and his name in Hebrew means son, as in like the sun, sun. So Samson. All right, so for a nation hero chosen by God. All right, let me read that again. For a national hero chosen by God, Samson was surprisingly unrighteous and earthly. So most of the times when our brothers come into the truth, you're not going to come into the truth righteous. You're not going to come into their, pretty boyish. You know what I mean? All this other stuff like this. Like people, can't, you have God chooses who He want. You know what I mean? So. All right. So Samson wasn't surprisingly unrighteous and earthly. He was the last of the charismatic heroes of the book of Judges, a man endowed with incredible physical strength. Okay. Within physical strength. So I'm going to read a precept on that. 1 Corinthians 16:13. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men and be strong. Remember that precept when I'm reading this. Quit you like men and be strong, okay? And this Samson was definitely strong. All right. All right. So incredible physical strength. But he had a weakness for immoral women. I have to admit that sounds like me when it comes to me at times, But that's how most men is, in general. But it comes to territory. A temper that provoked him to kill 30 innocent bystanders, and 30 innocent bystanders, a vengeance that drove him to hunt down 30 foxes and set their tails on fire and turned them loose in the grain fields of people who had done him wrong. Like such other prominent biblical figures as Isaac, Joseph, Samuel, and John the Baptist. Samson was born to a woman previously considered infertile. His father was Manoah from the tribe of Dan, who lived with his wife, unnamed in the Bible, okay, and Zorah, about 15 miles west of Jerusalem, on the border of Philistia. So one day, an angel appeared to the childless woman to say she would at last have a son. Okay, so all right, so she will have a son. This boy shall be a Nazareth to God from birth. The heavenly messenger announced, and he shall begin to deliver Israel from the hand of the Philistines. Nazarites stood out from the other Hebrews. All right, Nazarites stood out from other Hebrews because of the vows they had taken. Like other Hebrews, they were to avoid anything ritually unclean. Okay, and let me see, and such as corpse. Okay, right. In addition, they were not to cut their hair, and they were to refrain from drinking wine or even from eating grapes. But Samson eventually broke each of these vows. He ate honey from the carcasses of a lion he had killed earlier. Killed a lion. Watch ye stand fast and be strong. Come on, man. All right. So, this is very important. But Samson eventually broke these vows. He ate honey from the carcasses of a lion killer that he had killed earlier. Wine flowed freely at his wedding feast, and he let himself be tricked into a haircut. When he became old enough, Samson asked his parents to arrange a marriage with a Philistine woman from Tamnah, 5 miles to the west. They refused with a sarcastic question: "Is there not a woman among the daughters of your kinsmen?" Which means that his parents are saying, "There's not a woman in the 12 tribes." All right. Um, or among, I'm gonna read that again. Is there not a woman among the daughters of your kinsmen, or among all our people, our people, that you must go to take a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines? But Samson persisted, and marriage was contracted with the woman of Timnah. However, God used Samson's lust for erotic encounters with Philistine women to drive a wedge between Philistia and Israel. Prior to Samson's running with the Philistines, all of which started over woman. The two nations have been on relative friendly terms. With Philistine, the dominant nation, intermarriage was permitted, as was commerce. But Samson made coexist much less comfortable and helped keep Israel from being observant to Philistine culture. All right. And up to an interrupted wedding. The fighting between Samson and the Philistines began almost immediately after Samson's wedding. Guests were starting to traditional week-long festivals with Samson challenge the 30 Philistine men there to a friendly wager. Solve his riddle. He explained, and he would give each of them set of clothes. Fail, and they would each give him an outfit. The riddle involved a lion Samson had killed earlier and told no one about. Okay, that's Hebrews for you. And he later the bees. Saw that bees had swarmed over the carcass and ate honey from their hives. So his riddle was: out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. Okay, the guests managed to solve the riddle eventually, but only by threatening to bribe into badgering the secret out of Samson. She then told the guests, who promptly asked Samson, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Okay, furious that his wife had betrayed him. Okay, so let me see something real quick. Okay, furious that his wife has betrayed him, Samson stormed off to Ashkelon, a Philistine city 25 miles away on the Mediterranean coast. There he killed 30 men. 30 men, stripped them, and took their clothes back to the wedding guests. Instead of living with his wife, he went back to his parents. By the time he calmed down enough to return to his wife, she had been given to the best man. Wow. So I'm gonna read a precept for that right there. Um, every wise woman builded her house, but the foolish pluck it down with her hand. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go there with that one. All right. Um. All right. Samson immediately took revenge on the Philistine people who had caused him so much grief. He caught 30 foxes, lit their tails with torches, and turned them loose in fields and orchards. The Philistines responded by burning to death Samson's former wife and her father. That's fake. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? You're putting other people in the business. See, the Philistines killed basically his former wife and yeah, his former wife and her husband. I mean her father. Then Samson retaliated by killing more Philistines before retreating to the cave in Judah. Away from the Philistine border. Their soldiers, however, came after him rather than cause his fellow Israelites to suffer for his actions. Samson agreed to let his own people tie him up and turn him over to the Philistines. But once in Philistine hands, Samson broke his ropes, picked up the jawbone of an ass, and killed 1,000 soldiers. You got to do these numbers up. So that was 1,000 there, 30 before that. You know what I'm saying? So sometime later, Samson showed up. Uh, that's why I read that. Hold on. That's why I read that precept. Watch ye stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men and be strong. Okay. Sometime later, Samson showed up in another Philistine town, Gaza, near the coast, where there he visited a prostitute. Okay, so I'm gonna do a precept on that, man. For a whore is a deep ditch. A strange woman is a narrow pit. You know, so that's what he should have not did with the harlot too. You know what I mean? So all right. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna read again. Philistine town, Gaza near coast, where there he visited a prostitute. News of his arrival quickly spread through the town, and the citizens surrounded the house. They decided to capture him at dawn, and he was worn out from after he was worn out from a night of lovemaking. Samson, however, surprised them by leaving in the middle of the night. He took with him the huge doors of the city, posts and all, and carried them nearly 40 miles before depositing them on a hilltop near Hebron. All right. The best known story about Samson, of course, concerns his love for Delilah. It was a fatal attraction because the Philistine leaders bribed her into nagging out of Samson's the secret of his supernatural strength. You know, they want to know why he's so strong. A razor has never came upon him. This is what he did. You know, a supernatural strength. This is what he did right here. I'm about to read this precept. Proverbs 13:31-3. Listen to this good. Give not thy strength unto a woman, nor thy ways to which destroy kings. Some men have to pillow talk when some things need to be. Give not thy strength to a woman, nor thy ways to which destroy kings. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. Keep reading. A razor has never come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. He eventually confided, if I be shaved, then my strength will leave me. Why would he tell a woman that? And as his wife had done before, Delilah reported the secret. She ratted on him. Reported the secret. Then, after he had fallen asleep of her lap, she called a man to cut his locks. To cut his locks, dreadlocks. So that tell you what type of Hebrews, the color of the Hebrews right there. Who have dreadlocks in their hair? But they ain't gonna put that in the movies. They're not gonna put that in none of their Hollywood. It's the facts. Our images is washed down, and you know we mocked. Okay, but as it said here, um, then after he had fallen asleep on her lap, she called a man to cut off his locks. and delivered him to the Philistines. They promptly gouged out his eyes and put him to work grinding meal at the prison mill in Gaza. Wow. So he killed 1,030 of their men, and all they did is they took out his eyes. God was with him. God was with him, man. You know, and the city whose gate he had early stolen and carried away. After Samson shaved hair started growing back, the nation rulers gathered in the city temple for a festival to honor their God. All right, honor their God, Dagon. As part of the celebration, they put on display the once mighty enemy whom they said their God had delivered to them. In that temple, between two pillars, likely built of stone, or wooden blocks mounted on top of each other, Samson prayed. That's right. Although Samson's recorded prayers are selfish rather than pious, they showed he had faith that God would answer, and for that faith he was later commended by the anonymous author the letters to the Hebrews, who listed Samson along with Gideon, Barak, um, Jephthah, and David, and Samuel as a man whom won strength out of weakness, became mighty for war, put armies to flight. Samson later last prayer also showed he had not lost his appetite for revenge. Strengthen me. This is what he's telling the Most High. Strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once, O God, that I may be avenged upon the Philistines from one of my two eyes. God heard his plea. Samson strengthened, and you can look that up in Judges 16 and 28. Okay, um, God heard his plea. Samson strained against the pillars, and the temple collapsed. Samson died amid the rubble, but took with him more Philistine than he had killed in his 20 years as a judge in Israel. So check this out. 1,000 before this happened, 30 before that happened. That's 1,030 men, let alone right here. All right. Philistine he had killed in 20 years of his judge in Israel. About 3,000 were on the temple roof alone. Samson was an individualistic rebel rouser seeking to satisfy his appetite, but God was able to use him to move Israel in the direction it needed to go. About 50 years later, King David finished the job Samson started, sometimes after 1000 BC. He crushed the Philistines and ended their dominions of the region once and for all. Wow. There you have it for Samson. All right, so I'm going to read Psalms 94 and 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Samson did. David did too, but Samson was first. All right. This is some inspiration on our forefathers to give us that strength that we need to rise, Israel. Because we ain't no weak people at all. The Most High didn't make us weak. That's not who we are. And our oppressors know we not weak too. That's why they keep an eye on us on every little thing that we do, hawking us down with the bifocals. Because they know. So, that's a lot of people. People act like people put in work, but Samson, that's 4,000 over 4,030 men. I'm gonna read that again. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men, be strong. Not quit you like women. Not quit you like little boys, little girls. Quit you like men. Be strong. 1 Corinthians 16:13. So with that said, Shalom. I love y'all. Peace. Let that sink in. Let that marinate. And the God of Israel is among us, in the midst of us. So, Kwam Yasharala. Love y'all.